got some cookies downstairs. Let me go get some. I'm going to take these clothes off. Clean my face. Comb my hair. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Reality Is, where words do come to life. Make sure you hit the notification bell and subscribe button so you too can know when I upload other videos so we can have this good conversation. Yes. All right. So I received a text tonight, and it looked like it was an interview from news media, WGN News at 9. And in the text, it said a 750 million program aimed at reviving struggling Chicago neighborhoods. Mayor Lightfoot's Invest Southwest plan is ambitious. But people on the south and west side say they've heard it all before. And the bottom said, tonight we examine Invest Southwest. So I'm sure the interview of what was the questions asking the community was discovered on the interview. But what I want to say is the south and west sides have always been last on the list. Most of the funding that has been received for neighborhoods has always gone north and downtown. And most of this fault lies on the aldermen. The aldermen get funding, and everybody should know there is such thing as TIF funds for TIF districts. And at one time, I don't know if it's still true, they were still getting slush funds. But here is the problem with this system. Here is the problem that nobody wants to talk about and nobody wants to address. First of all, I've said this in other videos. Stop allowing these aldermen to hire their families and their close buddies and friends, because you know why? Because they get all the perks and the privileges and the community gets nothing. And we allow these aldermen to sit in seats until they die out. There should be a law passed that you cannot hold a seat no longer than 2 terms like the president. Maybe our neighborhoods would thrive then if this change would take place. I know in the 37th ward where I used to reside, and people might say, well, you don't live there anymore. Yeah, but not by my doing. It's because of the system and how the system is set up and how you fight hard and you spend your money to fight for property that your parents bought, and the system allows somebody else to come and take it in. You can't go to your state representative at the time, who still is the state representative, LaShawn Ford. See, all these elected officials run their lips. They part them, and all this hot air just pops out all the time because nothing they say has any weight to it. They don't bag it up with action. They just talk a lot of shit. That's all they do. They BS their way through, and the community have gotten to a point that they're so tired of hearing the lies. They don't care anymore. You say it, you just say it. We know it's not going to be factual. We know nothing's not going to change, and we're not going to get the money. Here is the other side to this issue. And I haven't listened to it because, like I said, I was with my friend who was sick. But here is the other problem with the mayor saying that she's going to invest. You have the same individuals that you talk to all the time. You have the same organizations that you provide funds to all the time. And those organizations really don't make, they've been existing for how many years, and how much of an impact and change have you seen on the South and the West Side? Austin Coming Together has been in the community at least about 4 years. They collected money. They say they have programming, but what change have they made? Is Austin coming together? Because I don't think so. It's more divided than ever. And you have By the Hands, and you have Moving Everest. By the Hands, as I've stated in other videos, you can look at the other videos. Before the building was constructed, they used the church on the corner to draw the kids in the neighborhood, got the parents to fall in line, got their hopes built up like they really cared. And once they got that building set up with the alderman's agreement, they rezoned with Irvin and Mitts, and then those kids in the community were shut out. Then they started using By the Hands only to bus kids in from the schools with the agreement of the principals and the area that they was failing. And then they was allowed to construct Moving Everest. And there was limitations to that. Nobody in the community was hired for any jobs. It was the same pastors, the same preachers, the same organizations, the same people that part their lips and really don't have a great impact in the community. And the funny part to all this, which is a joke, and I understand what these people in the community is saying when they say, they've heard it before. Why should they believe anything that anybody says? Because when you reach out for help, you don't get none. Thanksgiving, you got to pass out a turkey, but you got to sign your life away to get that. People don't need no damn turkey. They need groceries. They need canned goods. They need assistance. But we don't do that. We have aldermen that sit in our communities that's supposed to be over the wards, and they talk about unity in the community. Ain't no unity in the community. None. You allow Walgreens to lead. The only pharmacy that was on Chicago Avenue in Central, and the next one is on Cicero and North Avenue, fully knowing that there was a senior citizen building sitting on Lake Street and Central that needed that pharmacy, and you allowed it to walk out the community. You allowed a bunch of business to walk out the community and replace them with Dollar Generals and dollar stores. Now, how is Dollar Generals and dollar stores impactful in a community that is lacking? Explain that to me. You want the liquor stores out, but you don't. You push the pharmaceutical company that the community need. You push the grocery stores out, replacing with this little mall where Jewel's used to be on Chicago Avenue, and what's that side street? Right between Laverne and Pine. So the Jewel's left, the Family Dollar is there. You're finally fixing the building across the street, which was supposed to be for veterans. Chicago Avenue is supposed to be Malcolm's district. And again, these are people that I've talked with. These are people that I've worked with. But again, all this conversation, all this standing up here like you're doing such great things in the community. We have more abandoned buildings, more closed schools. Then you have the old YMCA that Emma sold to Eric Rubenstein for $1 that is infested. It's horrible. There is nothing for the community except for Austin Town Hall, the library. You have Francis Scott Key School that the organization I was a part of, we asked for those 2 buildings to make a difference, but you didn't do that. Now you give Westside Health Authority all the perks and the privileges, and LaShawn Ford has his office in Westside Health Authorities inside the building, where the clinic resides. Then Emma has her office in one of the other building that Westside Health Authority own. So it leads me to believe that you are only going to help the people that toot their lips to your ass. That's the way this look like. This is going. If I toot my lips to your ass, then I'm able to get some help and some assistance from these elected officials. But the funny part is, it's the same damn elected officials who need our votes. So you negate the people, cry for the help. But then when election time comes, you need our votes to make sure you sit in the seat. And I've been saying this, and I done told Emma Mitz this myself. And she may not like it. And look at my face. I really don't give a damn. None whatsoever. Because the truth is the truth. And it's time out for sugarcoating what's going on in our communities and how it's happening and why is it allowed. And some of the blame is on us as constituents because some of our elected officials make constituents feel fearful that I'll do this, I'll dig up this, or I'll stop your service for this, or I'll, whatever your power is and your connection is to keep you in the seat. So then people become fearful because you sit in that seat. But you know what you all need to understand? And I'm going to get a little closer to tell you, you reap what you sow. Karma ain't no joke. God don't like ugly. And some of y'all stand up there and you talk about the goodness of God and how you care about people. He going to slap y'all to sleep for playing with his people and doing them the way that y'all doing them. For every organization that sits in the Austin community and you have lied and you just sitting there, Chase give Austin coming together a lot of money, but I don't see nothing that it has changed in the Austin community. I see them getting all these awards. For what? For what? I used to work with Austin coming together and I thought they was better than that. Andy and the other guy. I thought you all was better than that. But you turn out to be typical like anybody else. Y'all ain't made no difference. Austin ain't together. Not at all. It's still struggling. People are still hurting, abandoned buildings and all this stuff. And the sad part is the people that y'all should listen to, you don't listen to. You recycle the same people over and over again. And when you recycle the same people over and over again, you get the same results because those individuals don't care. They're not invested in making a change in the community. They're not. Like our elected officials are not invested in making a change in the community. They're not, because if they really was about doing their job, we would have seen that change a long time ago. And we haven't seen no evidence of it. Never. And I lived in the Austin community for 45 years. Understand what I say? I used to do foot patrol. I used to have to walk to my alderman's office and sit there and make sure they did what I asked them to do. And right now, you talk about crime. You talk about certain things going on in our community. Before I left from over there, Levine Park was supposed to be, the sidewalk was supposed to be done. We fought, I got the playground done. And then women was walking up down the street and they were scared because the park lights went off at 10:30. Went back over there not too long ago. And guess what they have done? They have reversed what I pushed hard to keep those park lights on. And all I'm going to say to you all is, and I hope you understand me, for every part that you keep dark, you allow the criminal activity to occur, because crime happens in darkness. And there are single mothers, there are kids who walk the street, who has to go to school and come home in the darkness, especially when the time zone changes. And you all don't think about none of this because you listen to the same assholes over and over again. And they don't care. Then you give them all the funding and they don't do nothing with it but put it in their pockets and feed it to their people. Now, those grassroots organizations that need it, that's doing the work, you don't think about them. You don't think about them. The YMCA, before the other man I used to work for got locked up for playing with the funds for the school system, the organization I work with, Sisters of the Hood, it was Doris Wright, it was Darren's organization. We was in that building and we was making a difference. And then the person who was the ED misappropriated some funds, and a group that we brought in took over the building, and they pushed us out of the building, and these kids have nothing for after school, again, except for town hall. But what these children need, you all are not providing. Emmett School been empty, I don't know how long. You go talk to Chris Talafaro about Francis Scott Key, and you all's response is, well, how you going to do this? How you going to do that? But you give money to the same Westside Health Authority all the time. Did you ask them how they going to do this? Do you check and see if they're spending the money in the right way? Have you went back and checked and see that it made a difference in somebody's life? Have you done that? No, y'all ain't done that. So you say people don't believe. They don't believe. I'm in agreement with them. I've lived in that community. Lived it. I've driven through there, and it looked worse now than when I left. And it's sad. Nobody see the need. See, we get up here and we do all these fancy conversations talking about we're going to put some money back into the community to the south and the west sides. Really? Who's sitting at the table is the question. Who's providing the information of where the need is at is the question. Are you really inviting those people who has a genuine heart to make a difference in the community? Are you really? Because that's the question that needs to be asked. There is a lot of things that can be done. There is organizations that can be pulled together to make that difference, to make that impact. But you choose the wrong damn people every time. And I'm in agreement with every constituent that's complaining about what our mayor is saying to those individuals. And if you don't understand this conversation, you know why? Because you don't live it. You ain't sat in it and you ain't stood in it. That's why you don't understand. And even our aldermen, they don't sit in it, they don't stand in it, and they don't live in it. You know why? Because their salaries are good. They're good. So they don't want for anything. They got perks and privileges. You talk to a senior who's owned a building for so long and they got to choose between medication and fixing up their premises. Talk about that. Talk about kids who need the extra help for school and there is no tutoring service to be provided. Talk about ex-offenders who gets out of jail and they go back into the same environment and become a repeat offender. Talk about these seniors who scared to walk the street because they don't have good service and they can't trust nobody to have their best interests at heart. Let's talk about that. Talk about people that's addicted, and you got some of these companies that's taking advantage of the money, and they don't give a damn about the addiction. They just want the funding. Where's the checks and where is the balances to all this stuff? How about that? Do you like this conversation? Because it's too real for y'all asses. Y'all can't handle that. It's real. 100 plus. Bogus judges, bogus state's attorney, definitely bogus state's representative. LaShawn Ford, I wouldn't trust him as far as I can see from my eyes to this doggone computer screen. He's full of it too. He ain't helping nobody but fill his own damn pockets. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he's the very person I went to when I found out what was going on with my mother's premises. And guess what he did? He turned around and he bought it himself when he told me there was nothing he can do. So I don't have no faith, no trust, and no belief in none of what y'all say whatsoever. Because you have shown, you have proven that you don't give a damn about the South and the West sides. You don't. You just keep greasing the same palms that you always grease. So I'm in agreement with the residents about how things are being handled. And you can like it and you don't have to like it. Ask me, do I care? Because I don't. All right. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can know when I upload other videos. Enjoy till we talk again. Well, that completes another episode of Reality Is, where words do come to life. I hope that you have enjoyed the conversation that we talked about. Please leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you too can know when I upload other videos. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Until we talk again.